Today we're diving into a question that I think is on almost every modern parent's mind. In this crazy world where everyone's trying to get a step ahead, what is the right way to raise our youngest kids? The pressure is on, and it starts so early. And it's making parents ask some pretty wild questions.
I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. This is a real question a parent asked. Not should he be learning his letters, not what's a good park to go to. No, should I take him to IT, AI, or blockchain? This just perfectly sums up the anxiety, right? This feeling that we have to give our kids a competitive edge practically from the day they're born. But is that even the right question to be asking?
And this is the answer that our source material gives. It's so simple, it's actually profound, and for some, it might even be a little bit shocking. Forget the coding classes for toddlers. The absolute best place for a 4-year-old? The park. This one idea basically challenges this whole crazy race we've gotten ourselves into. So let's unpack why.
To really get a handle on this, we need to zoom out a bit and look at this global trend of pushing kids into formal school earlier and earlier. It's become this high-stakes race that, honestly, starts before most kids can even tie their own shoes.
Just look at the contrast here. On one side, you've got a place like Pakistan, where the pressure is immense. Parents are scrambling to get their kids into school at 2.5, 3 years old. And on the other side, you have the US system, where formal school, kindergarten, doesn't usually start until a child is 5. This huge difference really forces you to ask, what are we all rushing for? And what are our kids losing along the way?
And all this pressure, it doesn't come for free. There's a real cost. The argument here is that in our rush to create, the world's youngest certified professional, we might actually be stealing childhood itself and causing a whole lot of stress we never intended to.
To really show you how far this has gone, there's this story in the source material that is, well, it's almost hard to believe. It's about this little 4-year-old girl, an age that should be all about play, imagination, and just being a kid.
So picture this. It's her birthday, and she's all dressed up in a little fairy costume. I mean, she is the absolute picture of childhood innocence, right? Just ready for a day of fun and celebration.
And here she is. She's celebrating. She's cutting this big birthday cake. This is a moment that should just be pure, simple joy with her family.
But here's the twist, the gut punch. She's doing all of this on a Zoom call for her online class at 8 o'clock in the morning. This isn't a family party. It's a scheduled performance for her preschool. They turned her birthday party into a mandatory virtual assignment.
And the author just asks this incredibly blunt question. And it's not aimed at the kid. It's aimed at us, at the adults, at the system. What is this misbehavior that we are pushing onto our children, forcing them into these weird, structured, performative situations, instead of just letting them be kids?
Okay, so if the academic race is the problem, then what in the world is the solution? Let's switch gears and look at a totally different kind of checklist, what a child should have sorted out by age 5. And spoiler alert, it has absolutely nothing to do with coding. First up on the list, their weight. Yep, a healthy 5-year-old should weigh around 40 pounds. And look, the point isn't the exact number. The point is the massive shift in focus. We're going from academic metrics to their basic, fundamental physical health.
And what about their height? Should be somewhere around 3 feet 7 inches. Again, the idea here is that before we start worrying about intellectual benchmarks, we have got to make sure their basic physical growth is on track. Being malnourished is a way bigger problem than not knowing about blockchain.
So here it is. This is the real checklist. Are their vaccinations up to date? Do you have all their paperwork, their ID card, their passport sorted? Are they physically healthy and growing well? These things, these are the foundational blocks. Getting this stuff right is the real great achievement for a parent of a 5-year-old.
Now wait a minute, this doesn't mean no learning happens before age 5. No, not at all. It just means that the learning should be smarter. It should be more natural. It should be focused on building a real foundation for the future without all the stress and pressure of formal school. And hey, the good news is there are some incredible tools out there to help with this. The source points to things like IXL, ABC Mouse, Khan Academy Kids, all designed for this age group. And it points out that with these kinds of joyful, fun resources, a child can easily build a 2,000-word vocabulary by the time they're 5. It's not about stressful lessons, it's about learning through play.
So what should they know? Practical stuff. Things they can actually use. Can they tell time on a clock? Can they count up to 20? And this one's huge. Can they follow multi-step instructions? Like, hey, can you go to your room and bring me the blue ball? These are the cognitive skills that really, truly prepare them for school and for life.
And maybe, just maybe, the most important job of all in these early years is this one. If you can protect your child from that passive, endless scrolling, dopamine-hit world of the TV and the iPad, you have done an absolutely huge service for their developing brain.
This brings us to our final and maybe our most important idea. Because beyond the physical stuff, beyond the cognitive stuff, what is the real purpose of these first 5 years? It's about building the foundation of who they will become, their entire character.
The source material uses this really powerful metaphor. It's called the seed of bondage. Now, I know that word, bondage, sounds intense, but what it means here is a deep, unbreakable bond, a connection to faith, to values, to a sense of what's right and what's wrong, and the whole point is that ages 1 to 5 are the critical time to plant these seeds. If you miss that window, that soil might never be as rich again.
So how do you plant these seeds? It's not through lectures. It's not what you say. This slide says it all. Children listen with their eyes. They absorb everything you do. When the call to prayer sounds, do they see you rush toward it, or do they see you ignore it? Do they see you treat people with kindness? They are watching, always. And so that really brings us to the final critical question that this explainer leaves us with. In these unbelievably precious first 5 years, just take a look at your own actions, your own priorities. Are you sowing seeds of pressure and competition and technology, or are you sowing seeds of faith and health and character and joy? What seed are you sowing?